Hey everybody, it's Amy and I'm back. We just had our recent ice storms. Not weather we see very often around here, so we made it through that. Not too bad. We did get some ice, and I'm gonna shoot some video and show you how I covered up my plants, the few that I have out there. But what I'm doing today is I am trying something new. I'm trying winter sowing. And what that is basically I take milk jugs, tea jugs, and I cut them open. I'm going to show you how I do that here in a minute. I put soil in there, and then I get seeds that need the cold stratification. They germinate better and all with after going through cold. So I'm trying that. I've already put some out. I will show you those when I take the ones I'm about to do out there. And this is how I'm gonna document what I have in each one, so hopefully I won't forget what they are. But the way I do this is you take a jug, and it needs to be like not one of the solid ones. A lot of the milk jugs now like are white and all. You want it to be a little bit, it doesn't have to be perfectly clear, but you want it to be a little bit. And what I do first is I have these really sharp scissors, and I poke holes in the bottom because you want drainage for your seeds. And so I make 4 holes in the bottom. And thankfully these scissors are nice and sharp, so they go straight in with a little bit of effort. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got 4 holes in there now. Okay? And then you decide where you want to start it. I do it about halfway up, just where it would be just underneath where the handle is. But I stab it through. And this time you're wanting to actually cut the jug. So it's obviously not going to be perfectly straight, and that's okay. But I cut around. And I don't cut all the way off. You want your jug to still be connected in one part. So you can see it kind of makes a hinge right there. And then I push this back down where it was, when you push the holes through, it kind of gives a little bit. So I just push it back down. And then I've got a little hole, a little place I'm gonna fill this with dirt. And then I'll start putting the seeds in, and I'll show you what we're gonna do next. Okay, so I hope you can see it. I do this in a box so that I don't make a mess with the dirt everywhere. But I've got the jug in here open. And what I do is I take soil that I have pre-moistened, because you do want it to be moist before you put your seeds in. So basically I have a bowl over here that I put some soil in, and I put some water in it, and I stir it up. And then I put soil in the bottom part of the jug. And I'm out of solo cups, so that's why I'm having to use this little plastic container. Because all my shovels are put up, and I didn't think to grab them before I started, so that's an oops on me. Okay. So you fill it up to, well, I've been doing it right to the top almost of where you've cut the jug. And then you take your seeds. What I am putting in this one, I am doing spotted bee balm. And bee balm is a flower that is I grew some last year. I started them, but it is medicinal as well as really good for pollinators. And so these I got free in a Facebook group that I'm in. And so now I'm trying to open them without spilling the seeds everywhere. Okay. So here's the seeds. I don't know if you can see them. And this is what I'm going to sprinkle them around the top. A lot of these type of seeds is what they call surface sow. And so I'll just sprinkle a bunch of them around here. I don't want to drop any. If I can get around it. Here we go. And then, so I just kind of sprinkle them all over. And if they all germinate like I'm hoping they will, I'll have a lot of little plants in there. And so when I start thinning them out and moving them and planting them where I want them to be in my garden, hopefully I'll have a lot of little bee balm plants I can put out. Okay, so now basically what you're doing is you're creating a lot of little greenhouses. So what I want to do now is I'm going to take duct tape, which is now stuck to itself, which is not good. All right. But what I do is I turn it, I start on one side near the handle, and then you kind of put it where you want it to be, and I just circle it around. To connect all of this together. And if the piece I cut is not big enough, then I'll have to cut another little tiny piece. Now, some people tape this differently. Like I said, this is the first year I'm trying this, so we'll see how it works. Okay, and you can see I've got a little cut right there that I don't have covered, so I'm gonna have to cover that. So let me cut a little piece off. Thankfully it's not a very big one. And then I put that on it. Now, when you put this outside, you don't leave the top, you take the top off, and you can throw the top away because you're not going to be using that anymore. Because you do want, if it rains, if it snows or whatever, you do want the moisture to get in here. That's an easy way to make sure things are watered and keep moisture. And what I do, I know Sharpie is not the best. I'm working on getting some markers, some gardening markers that I think are supposed to do better than Sharpie. Sharpies fade. So I put a number on all these jugs, but I also have it, I'm making a list and describing the jug as well as I can, and I'm putting the number on it so that hopefully I'll know what's in these jugs when I get ready to open them and put them out. So this one is going to be labeled jug number 9. And that will be the spotted bee balm. And so I will come back after I've got my other, I think I've got 7 more jugs I'm going to put together. When I've got the other 7 done, I'll be back and show you. I'll take them outside and we'll go over what's in each one. Thanks. And here are my jugs. I ended up with 15 jugs for winter sowing. And what I have started, jug number 1 over here has the bee balm, like I talked about. This one has black-eyed Susans. The reason I'm planting those is I have heard that dragonflies really like them. And this yard always ends up with so many mosquitoes, and dragonflies eat mosquitoes. So fingers crossed that helps. Plus, they just bring in pollinators. Number 3 is apple blossom snapdragons, which is just a really pretty, like yellow, and I think it looked like yellow and pinky and just kind of pretty. Number 4 is St. John's wort, which I make an oil with. I've used dried St. John's wort to make the oil, but I'm hoping to get some fresh, so I'm starting the seeds. The small one in the back is green twister echinacea. It is not a medicinal echinacea, but it is a really good pollinator, and I think it'll just be pretty. Number 6 is yarrow, which is very medicinal. I have used it. It is very good for stopping bleeding, amongst other things. Let's see. This one is Roman chamomile, which everybody knows chamomile is good for different things, so I've got that. This is wild lettuce, which I use for pain relief. My husband has actually been trying it, and I've tried it too. It's a good pain reliever. This one is spotted bee balm that I talked about. Let's see. This is German chamomile, which gets taller than the Roman, and I think it may have a couple of different qualities, but the German gets taller and the Roman stays kind of short. Number 11 is Tetramix snapdragons, so more pollinating flowers. Number 12 is snowflake snapdragons. They're white. Okay, this is echinacea. This is the medicinal echinacea. It's really good during cold and flu season. I have tried it this year and have found it works for me. So I'm going to try to grow some more. This is milkweed, which butterflies like. And this is ruby star echinacea, which is like a pink. It looks like pink echinacea. Again, not medicinal, but very pretty. All the echinacea is perennial, which means it'll come back on its own. So hopefully I'll get a good plot of it, and it will just come back every year. That's my goal. That's one reason I used it a good bit, even just for the pollinators, because it will come back. And so the less work for me, the better. I'm also going to show you where I have cleaned up my garden some up here on the deck. Let me grab the phone to make this a little easier. This is where I cleaned up where I had my herbs growing, or some of my herbs growing. And this right here that you can see, that is actually white horehound. So it is doing really well even in the cold. And if you look, I noticed it when I was out here. I'm gonna get really close. This is my chocolate mint, and this is my 4th year with this chocolate mint, and it keeps coming back, and I'm so excited. This right here, I wasn't sure this would come back, so I'm hopeful. This is orange balm, which is in the same family as lemon balm. It is a good medicinal. And I think that's all that I have coming back. I had peppermint in this, and I had holy basil here, but those are, I know the holy basil is an annual, and I think the peppermint actually is too. I think I have to get some more of it. Up here I had basil this year, so I'll have to get some more of that. And I said I would put up how I covered up my plants. These under this tarp are my strawberries that are not in the green stalk. And I've got my rhubarb plant that started coming back early because it got so confused because we had warm weather and then winter came back with a vengeance. So I put those under this tarp. You can see there's still ice on it. It's melting, but it's still there. So we will find out if it worked as far as making sure my plants are going to be okay. I'm hoping. And then I covered the green stalks up front. I pushed them up under the cover on the front, on the porch where they are, and I covered them with a tarp as well. So I'm hoping that my plants survive. So that's it for this video. I am excited to see if the winter sowing works. I am hoping it will. Time will tell. But I'm glad I got everything jotted down. I wrote it down, but I also wanted the video so that I remember what all is in these jugs. As the sun and everything, if this all fades, I have it documented more than one place, what I have in here. So I hope everybody stays warm with this winter weather, wherever you may be. If you're around here, I know we're not used to it. So stay warm, and I'm ready for spring. I've already started the garden for 2026. I'm standing in my doorway. I'm not going all the way out in this, but this is not something we see around here. There's my strawberries, another plant still covered. I have my green stalks uncovered up front. We're gonna see what happens. There's my winter sowing jugs over there. They're definitely getting some winter sowing right now. That's the pecan tree we're gonna be cutting down soon. This is like 2 hours later. Look at this. Wow. Look at my jugs. Definitely winter sowing right now. I have the video again. Look at these big flakes we're getting. I cannot get over this. Look how much has already fallen. I mean, this is amazing to me. We have not had this in so very long. Look at this tree now.